In Unexpected Love, a humble girl captures the heart of a wealthy heir. Ji-eun was used to living a simple life, surrounded by modest dreams of becoming a successful artist. Her days were filled with painting at her small studio, fueled only by her passion and the comforting reminders of her supportive family. One rainy evening at a local gallery, where her artwork proudly hung on display, she unexpectedly crossed paths with Seo-jun, the charming heir to the Kim family, known for their immense wealth and influence. Their connection was instantaneous and electric, a collision of two worlds starkly different. Ji-eun was drawn to Seo-jun's kindness and charisma, while he was captivated by her spark and authenticity, qualities he felt were often missing in his life dominated by expectations. Yet neither understood how their lives would irrevocably intertwine just weeks after their first meeting. Much to Ji-eun's shock, she soon discovered that her life was about to change forever. She was pregnant with Seo-jun's child. This revelation turned her world upside down, igniting a whirlwind of emotions, fear, confusion, but also a flicker of hope for the future. As she learned of her pregnancy, she was filled with warmth and trepidation, pondering what this meant for her dreams and desires. Meanwhile, for Seo-jun, the news was a double-edged sword. Raised in a family that valued status above all, the heir felt the weight of expectation crushing down upon him. The emotional turmoil of impending fatherhood clouded his judgment, making him question everything. The Kim family, particularly the matriarch Mrs. Kim, reacted with disbelief and skepticism upon hearing about Ji-eun. How could this girl, coming from a world so far removed from theirs, claim a connection to their legacy? The very idea felt threatening in a household that thrived on appearing flawless and maintaining an impeccable reputation. As whispers of the unexpected pregnancy spread through their elite circles, Ji-eun found herself thrust into a harsh spotlight, enduring scrutiny from the media and judgment from society. With headlines like, "The heir's unknown love affair exposed," she felt utterly vulnerable and isolated. However, she refused to back down. Armed with her determination and authenticity, Ji-eun sought to prove her worth beyond financial status and reminded herself of her strength. She had nothing to lose. The dynamic within the Kim household began to shift subtly as events unfolded. Ji-eun's resilience and genuine kindness slowly melted Mrs. Kim's skepticism, yet not without significant strife. The remaining family members, each with their secret feelings and misplaced loyalties, stood divided, struggling to reconcile their preconceptions with their experiences and relationships with Ji-eun. Among them, Yu-ra, Seo-jun's remnants of an old love, felt threatened by Ji-eun's presence. Yu-ra carried an air of sophistication, but deep down was filled with insecurity, which the news of Ji-eun's pregnancy only exacerbated. Intimidated by Ji-eun's uncomplicated beauty and the way Seo-jun was drawn to her, Yu-ra plotted to undermine Ji-eun at every turn. With clever schemes and manipulative tactics, she sought to belittle Ji-eun and even attempted to spread rumors that would paint her unfit for the Kim family. A challenge Ji-eun had never anticipated facing in her new life. As the pressure mounted and darkened the already stormy skies, Ji-eun faced her breaking point. The very air felt suffocating. A confrontation with the family left her reeling, and it was during one of these heated moments that Seo-jun stepped in, revealing an unexpected strength of character she hadn't known he possessed. He found himself increasingly drawn to Ji-eun, not just out of obligation, but by a growing admiration for her spirit and resilience. In a quiet moment away from prying eyes, he dared to admit, "I'm scared. Scared of everything this entails. But you make me believe in us." Ji-eun, her heart racing, whispered back, "I didn't ask for all of this, but for the first time, I feel like I matter." Those words struck Seo-jun deeply, and he realized that Ji-eun was not merely a chance encounter, but the anchor he never knew he needed. As Ji-eun's pregnancy progressed, the bond between them tightened, their hearts giving way to an unspoken understanding and affection. In the chaos of family drama and media scrutiny, they discovered moments of warmth, laughter, and shared hope. He began to see her not as someone from another world, but as his equal, an unwavering partner in the storm, facing each challenge hand in hand. As the baby's arrival neared, the Kim family's perspectives gradually shifted. Ji-eun proved herself more than capable of embracing the weight of being the future mother of the heir. Conflict erupted during heated family dinners. However, for every challenge thrown at Ji-eun, she stood determined, resilient like a flower breaking through concrete. When the day of birth finally arrived, the family gathered, nervous yet hopeful for a future intertwined. In the sterile hospital room, Ji-eun, weary yet radiant, felt an overwhelming surge of emotion as she held the newborn for the first time. Seo-jun, standing firmly at her side, whispered softly, "Together, we can face anything." In that moment, under flickering hospital lights, lives transformed forever, proving what was once a dream might just become their reality. The light of day broke through the hospital windows, illuminating their little family, and love quietly took root, blooming in the most unexpected spaces, creating bonds that could never be broken. There was hope, warmth, and the realization that despite their differences, they had built something beautiful together. Don't miss the heartwarming journey of these two lovers as they navigate love, rivalry, and the complexities of family. Subscribe now to join Ji-eun and Seo-jun on this emotional roller coaster, filled with challenges and romance. Her life turned upside down the moment the world discovered her secret. Ji-eun had always dreamed of being an artist, escaping to her colorful canvas whenever the weight of life felt too heavy. One rainy night, her modest gallery hosted an exhibition where her heart splashed vividly on the walls, capturing the attention of a handsome stranger. Seo-jun, the heir to the Kim Empire, wandered in, surrounded by the glitz and glamour of his affluent world, yet drawn to the simplicity and sincerity of Ji-eun. Their connection was instantaneous but fleeting, a magical moment lost in the chaos of life. Weeks passed before Ji-eun learned her life was forever changed. She was pregnant, and the father was none other than the enigmatic Seo-jun. Now, the whispers of their affair echoed through elite circles, bringing scandal and judgment upon Ji-eun. The Kim family, known for their rigid expectations and reputation, reacted with skepticism and fear. Mrs. Kim, the matriarch, viewed Ji-eun as an intruder who threatened the family's lineage. Meanwhile, Ji-eun grappled with an ocean of emotions, confusion, hope, and determination that seemed to shift with each passing day. She learned to navigate her pregnancy while dealing with the pressure thrust upon her. Unbeknownst to her, the baby they created together would spark a wave of change for both families. As Ji-eun slowly began to adapt to the chaos of her new reality, she encountered Yu-ra, Seo-jun's ex-girlfriend, who was anything but pleased with the unexpected news. Yu-ra, a figure of elegance and refinement, was determined to win Seo-jun back at any cost. Upon seeing Ji-eun, she felt her perfectly crafted world starting to crumble. Desperate and unyielding, Yu-ra sought ways to sabotage Ji-eun's reputation, spreading rumors and crafting lies, each attempt culminating in public humiliation for Ji-eun. Despite the barrage of negativity, Ji-eun held her ground, her inner strength blossoming among the thorns of adversity. The moment of truth came during a family gathering when Yu-ra took a stand to undermine Ji-eun, ensuring all eyes were on her. "Do you really think you can fit into our world?" she taunted, her voice dripping with disdain. Ji-eun's heart raced, but deep down, a fire ignited. "I don't need your approval," Ji-eun replied firmly, every word fueling her resolve. But as the tension escalated in the room, Mrs. Kim stepped forward, confronting Ji-eun, demanding to know why her son had fallen for someone so far beneath their social standing. Ji-eun instantly felt the weight of the family's expectations crushing her. "Because she's real," Seo-jun spoke up, his voice steady, echoing through the shaky silence. "She's everything I never knew I needed. Ji-eun knows how to love without conditions, even when the world turns against her." That declaration hung in the air, igniting a shift within Ji-eun, showing her that perhaps she wasn't as alone as she once believed. In that moment, she saw the real Seo-jun, not just as a rich heir, but a man brave enough to stand beside her, risking the family's wrath for the sake of love. Days turned into weeks, as Ji-eun and Seo-jun navigated their relationship amidst growing family tensions. Together, they faced the world, enduring media scrutiny and the heart-wrenching sabotage from Yura, each challenge drawing them closer and transforming their bond. The struggles they faced allowed them to share quiet moments away from the chaos, evenings spent under starlit skies where confessions flowed as easily as the hopeful tears that sometimes escaped Ji-eun's eyes. "What if I'm not enough for your world?" she would ask, vulnerability painting her voice. Seo-jun would gently look her in the eye and respond, "You're all I need. You make me feel alive." As Ji-eun's pregnancy progressed, so did her relationship with the Kim family. The once skeptical Mrs. Kim began to witness Ji-eun's undeniable spirit and commitment. With every shared moment, she started to soften, recognizing Ji-eun's strength reflected in the baby's impending arrival. Torn between love and duty, Seo-jun remained steadfast, becoming Ji-eun's greatest ally in the journey toward motherhood. Then came the day when the cries of a newborn echoed through the hospital room, signifying the start of a new chapter. Ji-eun, exhausted yet radiant, cradled their baby, feeling an overwhelming surge of love. Seo-jun beamed beside her, realizing that he was no longer just the heir to a fortune, but a father, an equal partner in this beautiful, chaotic love story. The love and warmth that filled the hospital room wrapped around them like a soft embrace, calming the storms of doubt that had once brewed so violently. As the sun cast its warm glow upon Ji-eun's face, she felt a wave of acceptance and belonging wash over her, showing her that her place in the Kim family wasn't just a title, but a bond forged through love and perseverance. "You found your home within this chaos," Ji-eun whispered to Seo-jun, a smile gracing her lips as he nodded, his heart swelling with pride for the family they were destined to build together. A new journey was just beginning for Ji-eun and Seo-jun, filled with promise, love, and the union of their two worlds. Subscribe now, and don't miss out on the unfolding tale of love, drama, and hope that promises to captivate your heart. One unexpected Ji-eun lived a simple life, filling her days with surrounded by. Yet deep inside, a yearning for something bigger lingered, something more than her canvas of dreams. Her world shifted during an art exhibition when she met Seo-jun, an heir whose name resonated through the halls of power and wealth. He was captivating, radiating charm and sophistication, yet Ji-eun saw through the facade, sensing a longing for authenticity within him. Their connection was instant and electric. They shared stolen glances and shy smiles, both unaware of the avalanche of obstacles waiting just around the corner. Everything changed when Ji-eun discovered she was pregnant. Panic gripped her heart. The realization hit as if a tidal wave had crashed over her idyllic life. Seo-jun, thought to be infertile, suddenly found himself facing an unwelcome yet profound responsibility. Would his family accept this unexpected twist? As they sat in a quiet cafe, Ji-eun's hands trembled as she revealed the news, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm having your baby." The tension between them thickened, and Seo-jun's expression morphed from shock to confusion. "What does this mean for us?" he asked, his voice low, conflict swirling in his eyes. As word spread about Ji-eun's pregnancy, the Kim family erupted in uproar. Mrs. Kim, the matriarch known for her iron fist, quickly rallied her emotions against Ji-eun. "A girl like you can never belong in our world," she exclaimed when they first met. The contrast was palpable. Ji-eun's modest clothing and fresh face stood in stark contrast to the opulence and snobbery of the elite family. The accusing stares from Mrs. Kim only intensified her insecurities. But Ji-eun was no stranger to challenges. She was determined to prove herself. Meanwhile, a formidable obstacle emerged in the form of Yura, Seo-jun's glamorous ex-girlfriend. Always impeccably dressed and effortlessly charismatic, she exuded confidence but was consumed by jealousy. "You think you can just waltz into his life?" she sneered during a family dinner, her eyes like daggers aimed at Ji-eun. The words cut deep, and Ji-eun felt the weight of judgment bearing down on her. "I didn't choose this," Ji-eun replied bravely, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside. As the pregnancy progressed, Ji-eun found solace in the unexpected love blossoming between her and Seo-jun. Their evenings transformed from awkward glances to lingering conversations filled with laughter and dreams, both of them learning to navigate their tangled lives. "I didn't think I could feel this way," Seo-jun confessed one starry night, looking at Ji-eun not as an obligation, but as someone who brought light into his world. Each moment they shared was a revelation, an affirmation that true connection can transcend societal barriers. Yet with each passing day, the threat of Yura's manipulations loomed over them. Under the guise of friendship, she plotted to undermine Ji-eun, using every opportunity to create doubt in the Kim family's eyes. "She doesn't belong here. You deserve better," she whispered to Seo-jun, trying to plant seeds of insecurity. It almost worked, until one evening, overwhelmed by emotions, Ji-eun confronted Seo-jun with tears in her eyes. "You can choose to listen to their lies, or you can trust your heart." His heart raced at her vulnerability, and he realized that choosing Ji-eun meant standing against the world for what he believed in. A turning point came on a stormy night, when Ji-eun went into labor unexpectedly. The family gathered, a wave of tension washing over them all. In the delivery room, Seo-jun grasped Ji-eun's hand firmly, declaring, "We're in this together." As the cries of their newborn filled the air, the atmosphere shifted. The fear and doubt that had clouded their love began to fade. Mrs. Kim, witnessing the profound connection between Ji-eun and her son, started to melt, realizing the strength and love that Ji-eun brought into their lives. As the newborn lay in Ji-eun's arms, a peaceful aura surrounded them. "Welcome to the world, little one," Ji-eun whispered, her heart swelling with love for both her child and Seo-jun. Everyone in the room witnessed a new beginning, the possibilities of love breaking down the walls built by prejudice and fear. Mrs. Kim embraced Ji-eun, tears in her eyes, saying, "You've filled a space we never knew was empty." In that moment, Ji-eun realized she was fully embraced by the family she once thought would never accept her. The journey had been long and fraught with challenges, yet love had proven stronger than societal divides. With the dawn of a new day shining through the hospital window, Ji-eun and Seo-jun understood that their love story had just begun, a tale of resilience, hope, and an unexpected family forged in love. Don't miss the next episodes full of passion and heartfelt moments. Subscribe now and continue the journey with Ji-eun and Seo-jun, the couple who taught us that love conquers all. One unexpected pregnancy could shatter their worlds. In the bustling streets of Seoul, Ji-eun, a young woman with dreams as wide as the horizon, lived a modest life filled with colors and canvases. Every day, she painted her hopes under the warmth of the sun, finding joy in the simplicity that surrounded her. Her life took a thrilling turn during an art exhibition, where she met Seo-jun, the wealthy heir to the prestigious Kim family. He offered a world of charm and sophistication, standing tall among the elite. Their chemistry was instant, a spark igniting between two souls from vastly different walks of life. But the fairy tale didn't last long. Just a few short weeks later, Ji-eun found herself holding a positive pregnancy test, her heart racing with a mix of fear and wonder. Panic surged through her as reality dawned. What could this mean for her future? The revelation was shocking. Seo-jun, believed to be infertile, was the father. How would both their families react to this unexpected twist? That evening, in a quiet corner of a cafe, she gathered her courage and shared the news with Seo-jun. "Seo-jun, I'm pregnant," she managed to say, her voice barely rising above the soft chatter around them. His eyes widened in disbelief, emotions swirling within. "How is this possible?" he asked, astonished. Before she could answer, the weight of impending responsibilities loomed over them, and he unraveled, trapped between family expectations and the burgeoning emotions he felt for Ji-eun. As news of Ji-eun's pregnancy spread, whispers echoed through the halls of the Kim household. Mrs. Kim, the formidable matriarch, was not merely shocked, she was furious. "A girl like her? She doesn't belong in our world," she declared, her voice filled with disdain at their first encounter. The lavish home, a stark contrast to Ji-eun's modest upbringing, dripped with opulence and unspoken rules of propriety. The gilded dining room, where family dinners filled with tension felt like a battlefield, became a place where Ji-eun felt like an uninvited guest. Amidst the chaos, Yoo-ra, Seo-jun's glamorous and determined ex-girlfriend, emerged as a formidable opponent. With her elegance and cunning ways, she plotted to drive a wedge between Ji-eun and Seo-jun. "You really think you can take her place in this family?" she whispered venomously one evening, her gaze piercing through Ji-eun. With every cruel attempt to undermine her, through rumors and subtle jabs, Yoo-ra made it clear that she would fight to reclaim what she believed was hers. Ji-eun felt fragile against the waves of intimidation, questioning her worth and how she could possibly fit into Seo-jun's wealthy world. But undeterred, Ji-eun clung to her dreams, strengthening her resolve with every challenge thrown her way. In quiet moments with Seo-jun, they shared intimate conversations that revealed their hopes and fears. "You don't have to prove anything to them," Seo-jun reassured her one night, his expression softening as he took her hand. "This baby is our joy, our blessing." As they grew closer, Ji-eun began to believe in the relationship they were building, not just as a couple, but as allies against the world outside. Tension reached a fever pitch when Mrs. Kim hosted a grand family gathering, meant to unveil their perfect image to society. As Ji-eun appeared, her heart drummed in her chest, knowing the judgmental stares would follow. Just as expected, Yoo-ra took her chance. "Seo-jun deserves someone who can bring honor and tradition to this family, not a small-town artist," she exclaimed, her words slicing through the silence. The room held its breath, eyes darting towards Ji-eun, anticipating her reaction. With her palms sweaty but her heart set, Ji-eun stood tall. "I may not have a title, nor the prestige, but I carry within me the life we created together," she proclaimed, looking straight at Seo-jun. "I will love this child with everything I have. Isn't that what matters?" The words echoed, reverberating through the room as Seo-jun joined her side, standing firm. "What matters is love," he affirmed. This moment ignited a fire in the room, a shift of understanding, as curiosity replaced contempt. Days turned into weeks, and soon Ji-eun found comfort within herself. The acceptance of love grew, not only for Seo-jun and their baby, but also amidst the turbulent dynamics of their evolving family. Gradually, Mrs. Kim began to see Ji-eun differently, a strong woman fighting for her family, willing to embrace challenges without hesitation. On the day of the baby's arrival, inside the bustling hospital ward, filled with anticipation, Ji-eun was overwhelmed with emotion. As she held her newborn for the first time, Seo-jun gazed at her with pure admiration, realizing that love fueled stronger things than wealth and status ever could. "We did it," she whispered, tears of joy spilling down her cheeks. Just then, Mrs. Kim stepped forward, her eyes glistening. "Welcome to the family," she said softly, finally embracing the reality of Ji-eun as an integral part of their lives. Healing began. The family was reborn amidst laughter and joy, bridging their worlds together. The journey had not been easy, but Ji-eun and Seo-jun stood hand in hand, stronger than any obstacle that had come their way. "We'll face everything together," Seo-jun promised, his voice firm yet tender. Want to follow Ji-eun and Seo-jun on this beautiful journey of love, heartache, and redemption? Subscribe now to the channel and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes of romance and emotional challenges that will keep you glued to the screen. A single life-changing secret could alter everything they believed about love. In a vibrant neighborhood of Seoul, Ji-eun painted her dreams on countless canvases, living a simple life filled with hope. Her family struggled to make ends meet, yet their love kept her dreams alive. One fateful night, while showcasing her art, she met Seo-jun, the handsome heir to one of Korea's richest families. The chemistry between them sparked instant attraction, igniting a connection neither of them expected. They shared fleeting moments, laughter, and the kind of conversation that made the world around them fade away, creating a bubble where only they existed. Yet, as the saying goes, reality has a way of crashing in. A few weeks later, Ji-eun discovered she was pregnant, a revelation that sent her world tumbling. The news not only shocked her, but also created a storm in Seo-jun's structured life. He was supposed to follow a carefully laid path, one that didn't include unexpected relationships or sudden fatherhood. When she revealed her pregnancy at their favorite cafe, juxtaposed against the soft jazz playing in the background, her heart raced. Seo-jun, I'm going to have a baby. The silence that followed was deafening, engulfing them in uncertainty. Word quickly spread through the Kim family about Ji-eun's pregnancy, an incendiary topic that transformed family gatherings into explosive confrontations. Mrs. Kim, the iron-willed matriarch, was furious. "How can you associate with someone from such a low background?" she scolded Seo-jun, her voice echoing through the lavish halls of their estate. Ji-eun stood there, her heart sinking under the weight of scornful gazes, feeling utterly out of place in her simple dress among the elegant silk and tailored suits. The lavish home that should have exuded warmth now felt like a gilded cage. To complicate matters further, Yura, Seo-jun's sophisticated ex-girlfriend, returned on the scene, determined to reclaim her spot in Seo-jun's life. Dressed in high fashion and comforted by privilege, she targeted Ji-eun with sneers and insults. "You think you can just waltz into our lives? You're nothing but an artist," she taunted during a family gathering, her words sharp and cold. Ji-eun's heart pounded as the tensions in the room grew. But instead of cowering, she took a deep breath and faced her adversary. "I may not have wealth, but I have love to give," she declared, her voice unwavering. As the days passed, Ji-eun fought against the tide of negativity, focusing on her pregnancy and the love she felt for Seo-jun. Amidst the emotional turmoil, Seo-jun found himself torn between loyalty to his family and his genuine feelings for Ji-eun. They stole moments together, encouraging each other, but with each passing day, the pressure intensified. "Do you really want this?" Ji-eun asked one night, her voice a whisper as they sat overlooking the city skyline. "I want you both," Seo-jun replied, his voice soft yet firm, a promise that echoed in the depths of his heart. Tension reached its peak when Yura devised a plan to sabotage Ji-eun further. She orchestrated a public scene, making it appear that Ji-eun had caused a scandal to humiliate the Kim family. Ji-eun found herself at the mercy of the media's unforgiving spotlight, leading to a wave of gossip that could drown her hopes. Confronted by accusations and ridicule, Ji-eun felt the strength within her start to falter. But in the midst of her despair, Seo-jun stood by her side, fierce and unyielding. "What they say doesn't matter," he said, eyes filled with conviction. "You are more than what they choose to see." The crisis forced Mrs. Kim to confront her prejudices. One evening, after watching Ji-eun persist through adversity, she began to soften. "Every time I see you, you remain steadfast in your love for my son. That resilience is something we need," she admitted, a crack forming in her icy demeanor. Gradually, the family started to embrace Ji-eun for the strength she exuded, witnessing her dedication and fierce love for Seo-jun. At long last, the moment arrived when Ji-eun held her precious baby in her arms, love pouring from her heart. Seo-jun's eyes shimmered with happiness as he looked at the tiny life they created together. "This is our world now," he said, enveloping both Ji-eun and their baby in a warm embrace, free from judgment and filled with hope. As the sun rose, illuminating their faces with warmth, Mrs. Kim stepped forward, offering her newfound acceptance. "You have become part of this family," she smiled, her voice gentle. Ji-eun's heart swelled with joy. In that moment, the walls that once separated their worlds began to crumble. Their love story unfolded beautifully, filled with challenges and triumphs, each chapter more poignant than the last. Ji-eun and Seo-jun created a family rooted in love, teaching others the importance of choice over preconceived notions. Want to join Ji-eun and Seo-jun on their journey filled with love, heartbreak, and redemption? Subscribe now and stay tuned for more episodes, where their fairy tale continues to unfold amid life's challenges. One fateful evening changes everything for a girl who never sought wealth. Ji-eun dreamed of a life filled with colors, pouring her heart into art while living in a small, cozy attic in Seoul. Her family struggled to make ends meet, but with each brushstroke, she painted a brighter future. At a bustling art gallery event, she unexpectedly met Seo-jun, the charming heir to one of the richest families in Korea. Amid the elegant attire and flashing cameras, their eyes locked, creating a spark that felt electric. He was everything she never knew she wanted: confident, kind, and sweet. They shared fleeting moments of laughter and connection, unaware of the storm brewing just beyond their joyous encounter. Weeks later, Ji-eun was hit with life-altering news. She was pregnant. The realization poured over her in waves of fear and disbelief. The precious life growing inside her was intertwined with Seo-jun's, but what did that mean for their paths? With trembling hands, she revealed her news at their favorite cafe, the same spot where their romance began. "Seo-jun, I'm pregnant," she whispered, her heart racing for what seemed like an eternity. His smile faded, replaced by a deep concern. "What are we going to do?" he asked, panic overtaking the initial joy of their connection. Their secret didn't remain hidden for long. The Kim family, known for their power and prestige, was scandalized by the unexpected news. Mrs. Kim, the formidable matriarch, was especially fierce. "Do you even realize what you've done, Seo-jun?" she shouted, disbelief etched on her face when the truth emerged. "You've tainted our family name. None of this could be allowed to ruin their legacy." Ji-eun felt small and insignificant as she stood before the opulent halls of the Kim mansion while dressed in her simple clothes. The decor was elegant but suffocating, a world far removed from where she came. As the tension escalated, a formidable rival entered the scene. Yura, Seo-jun's polished ex-girlfriend. "How could you choose her?" Yura sneered one evening at a family gathering, her tone dripping with disdain. She stood with poise in her designer heels, effortlessly mixing intimidation with sophistication. Ji-eun wished she could disappear as she endured Yura's gazes that sliced through her confidence. "You don't belong here," Yura whispered, planting seeds of doubt in Ji-eun's mind. But Ji-eun was not one to be easily swayed. With each confrontation, she grew stronger, determined to fight for the love and family they had created. A spark ignited within her, and she stood defiant in the face of adversity. "I will love this baby with every fiber of my being, and I won't let your words shatter our future," she declared one night, her voice firm as she locked eyes with Seo-jun. He felt a rush of admiration, realizing that he was falling deeper for her. As days passed, the world around them became increasingly hostile. Ji-eun faced judgment from society and relentless pressure from the Kim family. Yet, in the softness of the night, the two found common ground. During quiet evenings spent in the garden, they shared their fears and hopes. "What if we lose everything?" Ji-eun whispered one night, looking up at the stars. "You mean everything to me." "We can't let anyone else dictate our happiness," Seo-jun replied, squeezing her hand tightly. However, the climax came when Mrs. Kim threw a grand party meant to showcase the family's wealth and social standing. Ji-eun was determined to show them that love transcended their opulent lifestyle. Dressed in a simple yet elegant gown, she walked into the event, anxiety bubbling in her stomach. Yura was waiting for her, smug smirk in place. "Are you really going to embarrass yourself here?" she taunted. But Ji-eun simply smiled, her heart swelling with confidence. Invincible. As whispers flew about Ji-eun's presence, she approached Seo-jun, ignoring the disdainful glares. "Let's show them what we've built together," she smiled, believing fiercely in their love. When the moment came to introduce their child, Ji-eun stood at the forefront, resolute. "This baby is a part of our love, and love knows no class," she proclaimed loudly, every word reverberating through the grand hall. The room fell silent, lost in the heartfelt proclamation. Slowly, a soft applause began as Mrs. Kim stood frozen, taken aback by the strength of Ji-eun's courage. The tension cracked like glass and turned into acceptance, shifting the atmosphere within the room. "Welcome to the family," Mrs. Kim finally said, tears shimmering in her eyes as she embraced Ji-eun. In the end, the love story woven between Ji-eun and Seo-jun turned adversity into a beautiful tapestry of hope. Ji-eun held her newborn with pride, both worlds merging into one vibrant family, filled with laughter and love. Want to continue following the journey of Ji-eun and Seo-jun as they navigate their newfound love and family? Subscribe now to catch every episode of their heartwarming story filled with emotion, challenges, and romance. One unexpected pregnancy could change the course of their lives forever. Ji-eun's world was filled with vibrant colors, the hues of her dreams splashed across the canvases she painted every day. Her small, cozy apartment in a bustling Seoul neighborhood reflected her warm personality, but life was never easy. Coming from humble beginnings, she poured her heart into her art as a way of escaping reality. Everything shifted one fateful evening at an art showcase when she met Seo-jun, the charming heir to one of Korea's wealthiest families. Amid the sophistication of the event, they shared laughter and deep conversations, each moment drawing them closer. Yet just as the world felt right, reality struck. Weeks later, Ji-eun stared at the small stick that had changed everything. The words on it felt like a freight train barreling into her world. She was pregnant. Shock washed over her, mingling with fear. What would this mean for her relationship with Seo-jun? She had never imagined being in this position, especially with someone from such a different world. At their favorite cafe, she took a deep breath and shared the news. Seo-jun, I'm having a baby. His eyes widened, mixing surprise with deep concern. What are we going to do? He replied, his brows furrowing under the weight of uncertainty. As the news spread through the Kim family, Mrs. Kim erupted with fury. You have disgraced our family! She shouted upon discovering Ji-eun's pregnancy, her voice echoing in their lavish home filled with grand decor. The stark contrast between the opulence surrounding her and her simple existence left Ji-eun feeling suffocated. She stood in the center of the living room, dressed in modest clothes, feeling like a tiny fish in a vast ocean of judgment and expectation. How could she convince Seo-jun's family that her love was genuine? Yoo-ra, Seo-jun's glamorous ex-girlfriend, was quick to capitalize on the chaos. Do you really think you can step into this life? She asked with a smug smile, always poised in her designer outfits. You're nothing but an insignificant artist. Ji-eun felt small under Yoo-ra's scrutiny, the elegant woman embodying everything she felt she was not. But with each cutting remark, Ji-eun's resolve began to harden. I may not have your wealth, but I will love this baby with all I have. She stood tall, her voice imbued with newfound strength. Days turned into weeks, and Ji-eun found herself in a relentless battle against the expectations placed on her. Behind closed doors, she and Seo-jun created a sanctuary of love, where their dreams unfolded. I want to be a family, Ji-eun said, her eyes sparkling with hope one quiet night under the stars. Seo-jun held her gaze, the sincerity of her words reaching him. I don't care what they think, he replied, taking her hand. You and our baby are my world. It was moments like these that reminded Ji-eun of the bond they were forging, despite the storm raging outside. But the pressure from the outside world grew unbearable, culminating when Yoo-ra organized a family gathering to showcase the Kim family's impeccable image. The invitation sent shivers down Ji-eun's spine. As she arrived, all eyes were on her, whispers echoing through the opulent halls. Look at her, an outsider, someone remarked, their tone dripping with disdain. Yet Ji-eun stood defiant, heart racing, but determined. When Yoo-ra took to the spotlight, her voice cold as ice, she attempted to humiliate Ji-eun before the gathered guests. Can you really call yourself a mother looking like that? She scoffed. The room fell silent, and Ji-eun felt the heat of embarrassment rise to her cheeks, but not for long. I'm here as a proud mother-to-be, Ji-eun countered, her voice steady, projecting strength. Love doesn't come from wealth. It comes from the heart. In that pivotal moment, Seo-jun stepped forward, standing firmly beside Ji-eun. You don't get to decide who my family is. Ji-eun will always be part of my life, and she deserves just as much respect as anyone else. The room buzzed with murmurs, disbelief and admiration both surfacing. Days after the confrontation, the unexpected happened. Mrs. Kim, originally unyielding in her ways, approached Ji-eun one afternoon, vulnerability shadowing her expression. "I didn't understand before," she confessed, tears pooling in her eyes. "But your love for my son opens my heart to realizing what family truly means." Ji-eun's breath caught in her throat, realizing acceptance was blooming. As the due date approached, Ji-eun felt a wave of optimism envelop her. Surrounded by friends and family, the day finally arrived, bringing a flurry of emotions. In the delivery room, the chaos of doctors and nurses faded into the background as Ji-eun and Seo-jun focused on each other. When their baby's cries filled the air, tears of joy cascaded down Ji-eun's cheeks, and Seo-jun wrapped his arms around her, overwhelmed with pride. "We did it," he whispered, their family finally whole. The sun beamed through the hospital windows, casting a golden glow over the new family. Ji-eun, once an outsider in the glamorous world of the Kims, had embraced her place as the heart of their family. In that moment, she felt grateful for the love enduring through trials and tribulations. Want to see how Ji-eun and Seo-jun continue to navigate the ups and downs of their lives together? Don't miss the next episodes filled with love, challenges, and the undeniable magic of their journey. Subscribe now. One unexpected pregnancy could shatter their worlds forever. Ji-eun lived a simple life, surrounded by her dreams that blossomed on canvas in her tiny studio apartment. Her modest background was filled with love and support from her family, yet she longed for something beyond the predictable routine of everyday life. It was during an art exhibition that she crossed paths with Seo-jun, the luxurious heir to the Kim family fortune. Amidst the grandeur of the event, he was a breath of fresh air, handsome, worldly, and charming, with a smile that lit up the room. Their connection was instantaneous, lights of warmth enveloping them as they shared stories and laughter until the night ended too soon. Weeks passed, and Ji-eun held a secret that turned her world upside down. She was pregnant. The news sent her spiraling, a mix of excitement and fear. Finding the right moment to tell Seo-jun left her heart racing. One evening, as they casually strolled through a vibrant city park, the trees glowing in the soft twilight, Ji-eun turned to him, the words barely escaping her lips. "Seo-jun, I'm pregnant." His face transformed from joy to shock as he faltered. "What do you mean? How could this happen?" It poured out, concern etching deep lines across his forehead. Suddenly, the future felt uncertain, and an unsteady tension filled the air. The moment the Kim family found out, the atmosphere shifted like a heavy fog rolling in. Mrs. Kim, the formidable matriarch, was the first to react with fury and disbelief. "You have tarnished our family's name with this scandal," she exclaimed, when confronted by Seo-jun, disappointment clear in her voice. Akimbo in her grand living room filled with lavish decorations, the walls seemingly pressed closer as Ji-eun stood before them, feeling insignificant. Could she ever integrate into this opulent world? Yu-ra, Seo-jun's fierce and elegant ex-girlfriend, thrived amidst the hostility. Dressed impeccably, she regarded Ji-eun with disdain, her piercing gaze a constant reminder of the societal differences between them. "You really think you can take a place in the Kim family?" she sneered during a party. "You're nothing but a simple artist." Ji-eun's heart sank at Yu-ra's words, the sharp criticism cutting deep. But Ji-eun refused to back down. "I may be an artist, but I will love this child with every fiber of my being," she responded, her voice filled with a resolve that surprised even herself. Days turned into weeks, and the pressure weighed heavily on Ji-eun and Seo-jun. They found solace in shared moments, retreating to quiet spots away from prying eyes, where they could talk about their hopes and fears. "I don't care what they think about us," Seo-jun said one night, the stars twinkling above them, casting a soft glow. "You and this baby are all that matters to me." The sincerity in his voice gave Ji-eun the strength she needed to continue fighting for their love. As the due date approached, the tension escalated. Mrs. Kim's opposition kept mounting, and Yu-ra's schemes intensified, further straining Ji-eun's already fragile confidence. The climax came during a grand family gathering that Ji-eun reluctantly attended, dressed in an elegant yet modest gown. As she walked into the lavish estate filled with whispers and judgmental looks, intimidation washed over her. Yura seized the moment, her voice echoing as she denounced Ji-eun in front of everyone. "Look at her! How can you respect something so unworthy?" Ji-eun felt her pulse quicken, the weight of the world on her shoulders. But then, something shifted within her. With her head held high, she stepped forward. "I am here for my child, and you will not take that away from us." Her fervent declaration silenced the crowd, and Seo-jun moved to her side, pride radiating from him. With their relationship under scrutiny, it was Seo-jun who gained the courage to defend Ji-eun. "No one has the right to judge our family. Ji-eun deserves respect, just like any of you," he claimed, a sense of finality in his words that echoed across the room, causing even Mrs. Kim to pause. Days turned into bustling preparations as Ji-eun gave birth to a healthy baby, and the world seemed to shift once again. In the hospital room filled with soft whispers and bright light, Ji-eun cradled her child, tears of joy spilling down her cheeks. Seo-jun's eyes shimmered with admiration as he watched her, feeling grateful for the journey they had shared. "We did it," he whispered, his heart swelling with love. In a surprising twist, the emotional barrier that once stood firm around Mrs. Kim melted away. "You have proven your love and strength," she said softly, stepping forward with a rare smile. "Welcome to the family." As she took Ji-eun's hand, warmth spread through the room, sealing their bond and uniting their families. In that moment, Ji-eun realized she belonged. The opulence of the Kim home no longer felt suffocating. It was filled with laughter and new beginnings. She was not just a mother, but the heart of a family filled with love, diverse and intact against all odds. Experience the journey alongside Ji-eun and Seo-jun as they navigate through love, challenges, and undeniable bonds. Don't miss out on their story. Subscribe now to catch the next episodes filled with more romance and heartfelt moments. A single secret could unravel their world. Ji-eun led a humble life in a small, sunlit apartment in Seoul, her days filled with paintbrushes and canvases. Dreams of becoming a renowned artist fueled her spirit, but her reality was far from glamorous. It was just another evening at an art exhibition when she met Seo-jun, the charming heir to the powerful Kim family. He moved through the crowd like royalty, effortless and captivating, yet drawn to Ji-eun's genuine smile and vibrant spirit. Their connection was instant and intoxicating, but it was just the beginning of a journey that would challenge everything they knew. Weeks later, Ji-eun discovered she was pregnant. Panic gripped her heart, twisting her stomach in knots. The news meant more than just a child. It was a gateway to her future, a future that might not include Seo-jun. With trembling hands, she confessed to him during a quiet moment in the park, the air thick with the scent of spring blossoms. "Seo-jun, I'm having a baby." His expression morphed from joy to shock. "What do you mean?" he asked, the weight of responsibility suddenly bearing down on him. Their budding romance faced its first test. Seo-jun, suddenly thrust into unforeseen obligations, struggled to process the gravity of their situation, knowing that his family would never easily accept a child from a woman like Ji-eun. As expected, the Kims were unyielding. "You've made a fool of yourself, Seo-jun," Mrs. Kim thundered, her voice echoing through their house filled with luxury. The lavish decor showcased their wealth, but Ji-eun felt like an intruder in a world that had no place for her. Meanwhile, Yura, Seo-jun's elegant and ruthless ex-girlfriend, saw an opportunity to regain control. "You think you can fit in with my family?" she taunted Ji-eun at a party, her perfectly manicured nails glinting under the lights. Ji-eun, feeling small and unworthy, bristled at the insult. "I'm here for Seo-jun and our baby," she retorted, her voice rising with determination. Each word felt like a declaration, though the fear within her simmered just below the surface. As the weeks turned into months, Ji-eun endured judgment from both the Kim family and society, yet she found solace in her unwavering love for Seo-jun and their unborn child. They carved out intimate moments together under the stars, discussing dreams and fears. "Don't let them break us." Seo-jun gently held her hand one evening. "You are the most incredible person I know." His reassurance filled her with hope, a fragile but persistent light in the suffocating darkness. The climax arrived unexpectedly during a lavish dinner meant to showcase the Kim family to their peers. Ji-eun attended reluctantly, knowing she would be the center of judgment. As she walked in, the air thickened with whispers and disdainful glances. Yura seized the opportunity, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Look, the artist thinks she belongs here." The laughter that followed felt like daggers, but Ji-eun steadied herself, summoning every ounce of courage she had. "Love knows no boundaries," Ji-eun shouted, surprising everyone with her conviction. "I may not have money or status, but I will be the best mother this child could hope for." Silence enveloped the room, and Seo-jun stood up, moving to her side. "You are my family, Ji-eun," he proclaimed, his voice resonating with love and certainty. Days turned into sleepless nights as the baby's arrival drew closer. The anticipation weighed heavily on them, but a shift began to unfold as Mrs. Kim watched her son stand by Ji-eun's side, absolutely resolute. The slow realization of how much Ji-eun meant to Seo-jun began to change her heart. When the moment finally arrived, the delivery room buzzed with energy. As Ji-eun welcomed their baby into the world, tears of joy streamed down her face, while Seo-jun held her hands, his voice trembling with emotion. "We did it," he whispered. The moment encapsulated everything they had fought for, love defying societal norms and expectations. In a surprising turn, Mrs. Kim stepped into the room. "I've been wrong," she admitted, her voice quaking with vulnerability. "You've proven that family is more than blood." She embraced Ji-eun, acceptance blooming between them like the first flowers of spring. The scene faded to warm hues as Ji-eun cradled her baby in her arms, Seo-jun by her side. This was her family, an intricate blend of love, resilience, and newfound connections. The walls that had once seemed imposing now felt inviting, filled with a warmth that promised hope. Experience Ji-eun and Seo-jun's incredible journey of love, acceptance, and family. Don't miss out on the next episodes bursting with emotion and romance. Subscribe for more heartwarming stories. A single unexpected moment can change everything. Ji-eun stood amidst the colorful chaos of the bustling market, her small canvas bag filled with fresh vegetables and art supplies. She loved the vibrant energy of her neighborhood, a world away from the gilded cages of wealth that loomed on the horizon. Her dream was to become a renowned artist, pouring her heart into each stroke she made on canvas. But her reality felt heavy. Her family struggled under financial strain, relying on her meager income. One fateful Saturday, while preparing for her art show, she bumped into Seo-jun, the charming heir to the powerful Kim family. The way he moved through the crowds, refined, confident, and seemingly untouchable, created an electric tension between them. Their eyes met, and for a brief moment, the chaos of the market faded away. "I love your paintings," Seo-jun said, his voice warm and genuine. "You have a gift." Ji-eun felt a rush of hope, believing just perhaps their worlds could overlap. As the days rolled on, Ji-eun and Seo-jun began to see each other more frequently, sharing coffees and art critiques that turned into long conversations filled with dreams. The bond they shared felt real, unlike anything Ji-eun had ever experienced. But the weight of Seo-jun's world began to intrude when she discovered she was pregnant. Shock turned to fear as she pondered the implications. Could their relationship withstand this revelation? The moment came in a secluded cafe, one of their favorite spots. The aroma of coffee filled the air, yet all Ji-eun could manage was a lump in her throat. "Seo-jun, I'm pregnant." His face pale, he stumbled over his words. "What will we do?" The heavy uncertainty seemed to consume them both. Ji-eun looked into his eyes, searching for the reassurance she so desperately needed. But as she faced the nuanced layers of their worlds, the rift between them felt insurmountable. News of the pregnancy reached the Kim family quickly, igniting a firestorm of gossip and anger. Mrs. Kim, the stern matriarch, confronted Seo-jun with fury. "You can't let this disgraceful girl ruin our family's legacy," she exclaimed, her voice echoing in the grand, lavishly decorated halls of their home. Every accusation cut through Ji-eun, pulling her deeper into despair. With each week that passed, The opulent world of the Kims began to feel like a coffin, creaking beneath the weight of traditions and expectations she could never fulfill. Seeking to reclaim her influence, Yura, Seo-jun's polished ex-girlfriend, entered the picture. With her glamorous aura and biting wit, she wasn't afraid to remind Ji-eun of her place. "You think you can fit in with us? You'll never be anything but a lowly artist," she taunted during a family gathering. The confidence and poise that normally characterized Ji-eun's demeanor began to fade, replaced by self-doubt. "I'm not going anywhere," Ji-eun retorted, lifting her chin defiantly. But the uncertainty gnawed at her. Finding moments of solace became vital for Ji-eun as the tension grew, and amid the struggles, she turned to painting more than ever. Each brushstroke became a release for the emotions she couldn't express. Joy, anger, and disappointment swirling together. During one of those quiet evenings, Seo-jun visited her home. "You don't need to deal with this alone," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I want to be here for you." Yet the mounting pressure culminated in a crucial family gathering meant to showcase the Kims' impeccable reputation. Everyone dressed to impress, but Ji-eun felt like a fish out of water. The disapproving looks from Mrs. Kim and the silent whispers from guests raised her anxiety to fever pitch. Yura stood among the elite, ready to pounce. "Are you really going to embarrass us all here?" she sneered. At that moment, everything changed for Ji-eun. "You can judge me for who I am, but I know love, and I have a love inside this belly that matters more than your expectations," she declared, emotion flooding her voice. The room fell silent, all eyes fixed on her as Seo-jun stepped forward. "What she says is true. Ji-eun is part of my heart, and nothing will change that," he reaffirmed, his words powerful and unwavering. Days turned into weeks, and with each passing moment, the bonds between Ji-eun and Seo-jun strengthened. Upcoming weeks filled with anticipation at the idea of welcoming their child enveloped them in warmth. In the hospital room filled with soft light, the cries of their newborn united them in love. "We did it," Ji-eun whispered, tears of joy streaming down her face as she looked into Seo-jun's eyes, filled with pride and admiration. In that moment, Mrs. Kim appeared at the door, emotional yet resolute. "I've learned that family isn't just about wealth. It's about love and acceptance." Her tears reflected a change, and Ji-eun felt the friction from before dissolve. With open arms, Mrs. Kim embraced her, and Ji-eun finally felt a sense of belonging she had longed for. Following that, the richness of Ji-eun's love infused into the Kim household, creating a blend that was more beautiful than riches alone. Together, they formed a family built on resilience, courage, and love, a testament to their journey. Want to follow Ji-eun and Seo-jun as they navigate love and family against all odds? Don't miss out on more emotional episodes that reveal the power of love and acceptance. Subscribe now to catch every twist and triumph in their heartwarming journey. One unexpected encounter can change everything. In a quiet corner of Seoul, Ji-eun lived a life filled with passion, surrounded by her paintings and dreams of becoming a successful artist. Her modest apartment was adorned with colorful canvases, each one telling a story of hope and determination. Despite her humble background, Ji-eun believed in her talent and worked tirelessly to make a name for herself. But love was never part of the plan. Everything shifted on a warm summer evening at a gallery opening. As she displayed her artwork, she caught the eye of Seo-jun, the wealthy heir to a prestigious family. His polished appearance and confident demeanor drew her in, making her heart race. They struck up a conversation, sharing enthusiastic thoughts about art, their different worlds colliding in a whirlwind of attraction. For Ji-eun, Seo-jun was a breath of fresh air, an escape from her everyday struggles. But when their secret affair blossomed, so did its complications. After a magical month of romance, Ji-eun discovered she was pregnant. The news felt surreal, a mix of excitement and fear taking hold of her heart. She hesitated to share the reality of her situation with Seo-jun, terrified of how he would react. Would he embrace her and their child, or would he retreat into the safety of his wealthy world? The weight of uncertainty felt almost unbearable. One afternoon, Gathering her courage, Ji-eun approached Seo-jun at their usual cafe, the sound of bustling patrons around them fading into the background. "Seo-jun, I have something important to tell you," she said, her voice trembling slightly. The world around them felt still as she revealed the news. He stared at her, initially wide-eyed, grappling with the sudden responsibility thrust upon him. "What are we going to do?" he asked, a mix of concern and confusion in his voice. The secret didn't stay hidden for long. The moment Mrs. Kim found out, chaos erupted within the Kim household, shaking the foundations of their pristine reputation. "You've made a fool of yourself, Seo-jun," she erupted, her voice echoing through the elegant halls of their mansion, adorned with opulence and tradition. The lavish decor felt suffocating, and Ji-eun felt like a pariah amidst the wealth she had once admired and envied. Yura, Seo-jun's polished ex-girlfriend, reveled in the chaos, eager to reclaim her status. "Do you really think you can be part of this family?" she sneered when confronted by Ji-eun, her grip on societal norms like a vice. Each jab pierced with precision, and Ji-eun fought hard to hold her ground. "I'm not here to take anything from you," Ji-eun retorted, her determination boiling to the surface. "This baby is a part of Seo-jun, and I will love it with everything I have." Days became weeks, and the weight of family expectations grew heavier. Ji-eun often found herself alone, struggling with fear and self-doubt. But every time she felt the darkness closing in, Seo-jun reminded her of their love. On peaceful nights spent under starlit skies, they shared dreams and hopes. "I want to be a family," he would whisper softly, squeezing her hand tightly, his own fears momentarily forgotten. Ji-eun found strength in his presence, their bond surviving against the torrent of turmoil from outside. The climax unfolded during a grand family gathering designed to showcase the impeccable Kim legacy. Dressed in simple elegance but feeling like an outsider, Ji-eun walked into the grand hall, anxiety gripping her heart. The smell of lavish food filled the air, but all she could hear were the whispered judgments. "Do you really think you can fit into our world?" Yura challenged, steps behind Ji-eun. "Love is what truly matters." Ji-eun's voice rang out, surprising even herself, and she turned to face the sea of disapproving faces. "I may not have the same status, but I will be the best mother our child could ever need." The room fell silent, eyes darting nervously as Seo-jun stood beside her, his heart swelling with pride. "What matters is that I choose her," he declared, defiance lacing his words, silencing the whispers. The air inside the hall began to change as the realization hit everyone, reflected in Seo-jun's resolute expression. Respect shifted, and Mrs. Kim's eyes glimmered with a hint of understanding. "Perhaps there's more to family than just money and lineage," she finally said, her voice softer, vulnerability creeping in. Weeks went by, filled with anticipation and a sense of unity. On the memorable day of their baby's arrival, Ji-eun held her newborn close, a bundle of hope that symbolized their unwavering love. Seo-jun watched in awe, a sense of manhood washing over him, and for the first time, Ji-eun truly felt part of the Kim family. "Mrs. Kim stepped forward, her demeanor kind, embracing Ji-eun like a daughter. "You have brought love back into this family," she said, tears glistening in her eyes. The journey had not been easy, but the love they built flourished against all odds. Ji-eun, once an outsider, had become the heart of their blended family. Experience the ups and downs alongside Ji-eun and Seo-jun as they explore the magic of love, family, and acceptance. Don't miss a single episode of their emotional journey. Subscribe now for the next heartwarming installment. One unexpected pregnancy can change everything. Ji-eun stood in front of her easel in a sunlit studio, surrounded by the vibrant strokes of her latest creation. Her life was one of modesty. She lived in a cozy apartment on the edge of a bustling market, where she could paint and dream of a brighter future. Yet despite her talent, the weight of financial struggles often pressed heavily on her shoulders. It was during an art exhibition that she met Seo-jun, the charming heir to the influential Kim family. They shared enthusiastic conversations, laughter, and a connection that blossomed in the midst of opulence. But as their romance grew, Ji-eun found herself facing an unexpected reality. She was pregnant. The news hit her like a tidal wave, flooding her with fear and uncertainty. Would Seo-jun accept the weight of responsibility that came with their love? She decided to tell him on one quiet evening, the moonlight spilling through the window. "Seo-jun, I'm going to have a baby," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. His expression shifted from happiness to shock as he processed the revelation. "What do we do now?" he asked, panic glimmering in his eyes. When the Kim family discovered the pregnancy, chaos erupted. Mrs. Kim, known for her sharp tongue and demanding presence, exploded with outrage. "How could you bring this disgrace upon our family?" she thundered, her words echoing through their lavish home adorned with riches and expectations. Ji-eun, standing before her with a heart full of dread, felt the weight of judgment wrap around her, a stark contrast to the colorful art that spoke of dreams and hope. In that moment, Ji-eun realized she was an intruder in this world of privilege, where money ruled and love was often sacrificed. Yura, Seo-jun's polished ex-girlfriend, artfully manipulated the situation, casting a shadow of doubt. "This is also typical of you, Seo-jun. Did you really think you could love someone so beneath you?" she scoffed when she caught wind of the news. Her cruelty pierced Ji-eun's heart, but she stood firm. "I'm not beneath anyone," she replied, her voice steady. "I will love this baby unconditionally, and nothing you say will change that." Days turned into chaotic weeks, each filled with uncertainty and growing tension in the Kim household. Ji-eun fought her battle in silence, pouring her emotions into art while battling self-doubt. But during one vulnerable evening at the park, amidst the soft sounds of the city, Seo-jun took her hands in his. "I don't want to lose you or our child. You mean everything to me," he confessed, his gaze unwavering. Hope flickered in Ji-eun's heart. Their love felt real, but the looming question of acceptance haunted her. The climax reached its peak at a grand family gathering meant to showcase the Kim's prestige. Dressed in an elegant yet simple dress, Ji-eun felt the intense scrutiny of the elite crowd weighing her down. Gossip flew as she walked through the lavish hall, whispers and judgment swirling around her like a storm. Suddenly, Yura struck again, her voice sharp and mocking. "Do you really think you belong here? Look at you." The laughter that followed felt like daggers. Yet at that moment, something in Ji-eun ignited. "I'm here because I love Seo-jun," she exclaimed, meeting Yura's gaze with unwavering determination. "And I will love this child with every part of me, regardless of what you think." The room fell silent, shock rippling through the crowd as Seo-jun stepped beside her. "Ji-eun is my choice, and our baby matters more than any family name," he declared, the strength of his words filling the space with newfound respect. Days turned into moments of warmth as the acceptance slowly evolved within the Kim family. Support started to replace resistance as Mrs. Kim began to see Ji-eun's strength, a realization that love could transcend wealth and status. Finally, the day they had all been waiting for arrived. A new life was born into their family. Ji-eun held their child for the first time, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. Seo-jun wrapped his arms around both of them, pride palpable in every heartbeat. In that warm, intimate moment, Mrs. Kim entered the room, a gentle smile gracing her face. "You have shown us what family truly means," she said softly, embracing Ji-eun with heartfelt acceptance. The love that had blossomed between all three of them was undeniable, weaving a tapestry of connection that transcended societal boundaries. Experience Ji-eun and Seo-jun's journey as they navigate love against all odds. Subscribe now for the next episodes filled with heartwarming moments, emotional confessions, and the strength of love that conquers all.